Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday night. Welcome back to another session of Like Clockwork, where we take our adventures through the world of Caliphus to discover what the heck is going on. We're missing a couple of folks tonight. Leah is still out, and tonight Alex is a little bit under the weather, and so she will not be joining us. But we'll be picking off from where we left off last week, and see what happens. Before we get into that, of course, we are going to just go around the horn real quick and see what folks have got going on for themselves. You know who goes first. Go ahead.
As always, the front of the horn. There is things going on, guys. I might not be on the show for a little while. I've got a big move planned, probably in a month here. Going back to the motherland. Probably going to have to take a break here for maybe around a month or two. I'm not sure. While I try to figure out myself. That's only the really big life news happening right now. In fact, that's all I can really think about these days.
I just want you guys to know that I did not approve or authorize it, but my threat only comes from removing people from shows, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So I can't do anything about it, and I'm really cranky about it.
I'll file a paper with HR.
I can't. Like a month ago, I could have said, "Yeah, that's also me. Your request is denied."
But yeah.
Well, that's cool. And so you're going back to Hawaii then?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
That is where Roland and I met. Good times were had back in the day. But now you will be there as a grown adult, but you'll probably find some shenanigans to get into.
Kind of
because you know all the people with whom to get into shenanigans with.
Yes, so, exactly.
There's that. All right, well, Randy, what's going on with you, man?
I'm doing stuff, but you can follow me on Twitter. Sorry, I'm not. This week has been long, but you can follow me on Twitter at RollerRaja. That's where I post all the stuff that I'm doing. Beyond that, though, the good news from this week is I talked to my doctor and things sound great. It basically they don't know what happened, and so they're telling me that hey, it's looking good. They checked everything looks good. So as much good as I can have in that situation. So I'm feeling better, so that's good. So.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that. Of course, that was a big scare we had, and whatever you got to do to make sure you take care of yourself, and it's not a time to take chances. Like even the doctor's like, hey, it's all good.
I mean, that's
all right.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like I just got to be more careful. The big thing is I might be pushing myself too hard. So there's that.
Yeah, that I mean, we all got things we want to do, and so take care of yourself. We will, we support you 100% to make sure you're taking care of your health. With that, we are going to move to John.
Hello, everyone. I'm John. It's a really exciting start to the year for me. I've got a lot of different projects in the works, including a secret project that I can't talk about yet. This week,
you've been teasing that for 3 sessions.
I'm very excited about it, but it's a year-long project that's going to take a while to get through production. So I'm very excited about when it eventually comes out to alpha test and people can tell me how awesome it is or tell me how much it sucks. Because I don't think anyone will feel lukewarm about it once they see it. Next week is the start of a 2-part, potentially 3-part session on my podcast. Everything is gay, even the straight stuff. And we ended up talking about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the 90s version. And so it actually turned into a much longer discussion than we thought it was. So there's actually going to be a part 2 of it. But I'm really excited to send out part 1 into the universe next week. I'm also really excited to join the family of one-shot GMs here in the Rem Alternus Network. Really great stuff is happening this year for Rem too, and I get really blessed to be a part of it. And I cut my teeth on my first Deadlands Noir alpha test of a story I wrote, and so along with potentially writing some Shadowruns missions that I've been doing that you might see at con. I'll be doing some. I got my tabletop Power Rangers tabletop gaming book through Roll20 finally released, so I'll be joining the family as an on again off again GM, and I'm really excited to be a part of that and a part of the growth and the beauty of the Rem network. And of course, my Kickstarter is still going strong. So if you'd like to warm up your giving muscles before you give to the upcoming Rem Alternus Kickstarter, consider my gay fairy tale musical Kickstarter. And that is everything that I'm doing currently. I'm not moving to Hawaii. I'm Irish and I'm pale, and I would burn like a lot if I moved to Hawaii. So
Shade. We have shade.
yeah, but I'm still Irish. That doesn't make me any less Irish.
We have Irish people.
I still have to like buy stock in Banana Boat and just spray myself 4 times an hour, and
that's how you do it.
Yep, not a cute look.
Indeed. Well, go ahead. Make sure you put that link to your Kickstarter in the chat there in Twitch if you can, or if someone can, just to make sure that people can click on that and get there. And with that, we will move on to Sarah.
Well, yeah, Rem has a lot happening, but none of which is as important as our pre-launch page for Coddlesworth's Clockwork Circus issue 2. It's finally, the pre-launch page is live. I'm going to drop it in chat right now. So yeah, basically in March, we think, we're going to be going live with this, issue 2, so you can get your copy of issue 1 if you haven't yet, issue 2, which is coming to Kickstarter, and we're really excited about it. The page is looking great. If everyone in this chat, there's 10 people in chat right now, so if everyone goes and clicks notify me on launch, I get to start seeing our follower count, and that would be really cool, so you should go do that for me. Thanks.
I agree. That would be really cool. There's been a lot of hard work that's already gone into setting the Kickstarter up, not to mention just everything that's gone into getting issue 2 ready. So I'm really excited to get to this point. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, so that is going to clear out all of our announcements, and with that, we're gonna want to get into the game and pick up where we left off. So without further ado, it's about time. All right. So last week, after searching the house of the Gilaluti scholar, one of the scholars of Aishana Mage, Panabon and Shayloon discovered yet another strange secret room where there were what would best be described as goings on.
You can care for it. Just don't care for it.
And so before they could leave, apparently entering that room or something about that room, doing something in that room, triggered some of the statuary to animate and attempt to locate and do great murder. They were eager to avoid said murder, found another way to escape from the house. Apparently, the scholar was prepared to make his own getaway, and they went ahead and made use of that. But it appeared that the animated armor was somehow keyed to Shaylun. So likely something she did maybe was what animated them. However, after a bit of a battle, a brawl in the streets, if you will, they managed to take down one of them. The other one, however, was called back to the house by Rososi, the scholar, who was returning to his house, saw that there were shenanigans, and recalled the animated armor. The group did not take any time to consider their good or maybe not so good fortune at this turn of events and hightailed it out of there, especially Perunia, who was very concerned when she saw the Inquisitor Miskroginse with Rososi. And that Inquisitor is the one that met her briefly in Merkuldashta, and so she was pretty sure she did not want him to recognize her. They did manage to escape from the area. Whether they were seen, recognized, or identified remains to be seen. However, they are making their way through the streets, and that's where we are going to pick up with where is it that everybody is headed.
I'm a fair amount ahead of everybody, and I'm headed towards the lodge with purpose.
Okay.
I'll kind of head the same direction, but I want to dart to one of the decoy locations first, and also along the way, I'm reaching my senses out to see if Minya is anywhere within range on my way.
Within 100 feet? Unfortunately, not within 100 feet. You do imagine she's probably somewhere close-ish by, but 100 feet is really close, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shaylin appears to kind of beeline in a different direction. The rest of you don't know maybe if that's something that means that all of you should split up, or she thinks all of you should split up or not. That not being necessarily communicated.
I'm gonna mosey on slowly is what I'm doing. I'm trying to blend in with the crowd. I know I look different from most of the people here, and so I'm gonna pretend like I'm just like I'm gonna walk away, but not like suspiciously hurry away.
Just seeing the sights.
I really need to invest in that message spell I've been working on.
Maybe, yep. Let's get a. Let's do. You're not really trying to hide so much. Let's get from you a deception or performance, your choice.
Because I actually went with if I see Shaylun very often, going with Shaylun. Is there any way I can assist with that?
So the deception is for locks.
Oh, it's for locks.
I want to use my inspiration from.
Okay, go right
Are you
ahead.
saying you don't have good deception?
That was a very bad roll. It was a 6. It was. Oh wait, it's not even adding what.
You rolled athletics too.
You did roll athletics, but it's fine because I know that you do have a +4. So that was a 10, but you might want better.
Yeah, I definitely tried to roll deception. That's weird. Okay. Let's see if it rolls the correct one this time. Wait, let me make sure. Yeah. Deception.
We all failed our deception checks.
Yeah, it's rolling athletics. I'm definitely grabbing from deception.
So you
Which
got a 15 on that, which is good.
I mean, yeah, but I would like it to roll what I wanted to roll.
Interesting.
I'm going to try rolling my deception to see what it does when I do my, and I double click, so I'm just curious to see what it's going to do.
if he gets a success, Dan, in athletics, this athletics role, can you describe the way he like stays in the crowd in form of athletics instead of deception?
It is a deception roll.
Yeah.
We all know how to math. The athletics check has a +0. The deception has a +4. And
Would
so
much
I'm going
rather
to
it
take the
be
roll and
deception.
add +4.
You bear crawl
It's
under
fine.
people's legs, around people.
You're like
I
the
don't know who you're looking for,
NBC
sir.
in
I think there's a
Zelda.
strange bear in the area. But
I
you're not
dropped
looking
my
for a strange
glasses.
bear.
He quick changes into a jogger, power walker.
Using athletics for deception.
Okay, so so Aegis is scurrying quickly, perhaps wanting to kind of just be out of the limelight. Lox is taking it slow. Panabon is following Shayloon, and Shayloon is heading towards one of her fake this is where we're staying locations to see if she can lose any tails that may or may not be following. So with that, Shayloon, I would like you to make, let's call this a survival test.
Yes, I would like to survive.
You don't get lost. The layout of the city kind of makes it really difficult to naturally traverse through, right? Most cities, it's easy to see that, there's north, south, east, west. You kind of go in a direction, that you'll eventually get to a certain point. Street layouts, etc. But Giulaludi is definitely set up differently with things that go up and down and all kinds of different directions. And you might think you're going one direction and then you just get completely turned around and on the wrong level. But that said, you do manage to go in the direction you're seeking to go. Panabon,
Hello?
as Shayloon is traveling, what are you doing?
I'm actually, because now I know there's a sewer system underneath, and I don't know if it's on every level. I'm kind of just looking over the shoulder, trying to do it. Not really trying to even be discreet about it at this point, just kind of looking over my shoulder, but I feel like people are used to that, probably. And I'm looking to see if there are any sewer entrances near where we are in case we have to go underground. Because I don't really know how the network are, but I know there are, in one of the things that we stole, there was a map, so maybe that map could also be helpful in a way that other maps wouldn't be. So yeah, I'm following and I'm doing all the things where I'm like, is anybody following? The Thieving Guild probably isn't happy with me right now, but I'm just happy to be alive. So, it's one half a dozen of another.
All right, well, go ahead and give me a perception test in that case.
I perceive nothing.
You are pretty sure that somebody is following you. They're doing a pretty good job of it too. They're doing one of those, you're pretty sure it's one of those kind of plays where like one follows you and then they turn off and another follows for a while, that sort of thing. So it's not the same person, but you keep looking up and you keep seeing that somebody's kind of zeroed in on what you and Shayloon are doing.
It's oddly comforting in a way, because at least I know that that's happening. And so that feels like it's in my control. So, not ideal, but it's something.
Okie doke. All right. Aegis, you arrive at the lodge first.
I'm gonna go on into to where we were staying. I stand my bag up. Oh, actually, I'm wearing it, huh? We just went and did a thing. I put my bag down to the area that I kind of made for myself. I open it up. I take out my tea set and start to put it together. And any alchemical stuff I had out or any like things that I was kind of puttering with, I take it all and I put it into my bag and put it away, zip my bag up and sit down and start to make myself a cup of tea.
Excellent. Everybody, we have just learned that zippers exist in this world.
Tie it then. It's a haversack.
Zippers. I mean, I don't know when zippers were invented in real life, but I imagine the YKK zipper company has been around for quite some time.
Invented it. It's the
Can it please
it's the
be
ink zipper.
Can it be a steam powered zipper?
So zippers, by the way, were invented in the world we live in 1893 at a World's Fair in Chicago. So if we're going by like steampunk rules, they technically probably exist somehow in this world. So
But also from that same post, they were not successful at that time. So people tried to make zippers, and people were like, "No." So maybe you're an early adopter, Roland.
Yeah.
The modern zipper was invented in 1913 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Take that for what you will. Modern.
Did everybody realize that today on Dungeons and Dragons you're going to learn about the
History of zippers.
time frame history or time frame of zipper creation? All right. Sure. So you do all of that. Locks. Perinia also went fairly quickly, and she. I'm actually interrupting myself. So this is before I get back to you for Locks. And so when you're doing all your stuff there, Aegis, she says that she's going to see if she can't find Tieske, the Dark Claw that kind of warned her about what was going on.
Where Minya is.
Yes. All right. So, Locks, you arrived shortly thereafter, maybe 10 minutes.
Well, no, I'm taking my time. I'm not because I want to make sure people aren't following me. So while I'm walking, I also want to look out for people.
So you're just going really slow.
Oh, I'm moseying. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, give me a perception test.
Cool.
Stopping at
Let's
every
see.
Apple booth you see.
Yeah, very slowly chewing. You know that like a camel almost. Okay, I'll try double clicking.
Would you say you're like a bee, that there's a buzz about you, and maybe you're like an Applebee's?
No.
Anyone?
No.
No? All right,
No.
fine.
You had your zipper moment. You don't get to
I got a
punt here.
20. I got a 20, Daddy.
Okay, so as you are moseying, you are very, very sure that there is nobody following. You get a sense that, like, unless they had immediately left from there, kind of along with you, that it's going to take some time for them to kind of gather up folks to follow you and chase after. So.
One more thing I want to do on my way back then. If I don't feel like I'm being followed, I do want to stop at one of the stalls that's selling like a head wrap or something that's like clothes that are more here, so that I'm not wearing my my outfit that is very, specific.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just let me know how much gold that is and I'll take it out.
Well, how nice are you looking for?
My station, so probably not nice. More like
just whatever.
Yeah.
Sure. So you find something that it's really only just a few coppers, right? So I think you get something for like 5 copper pieces. Easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you went to one of those custom hat stores and got a blank beanie instead of putting any embroidery on it.
All right. So, Shayloon, how many of your locations are you trying to trickily?
Just one. I'm pretending that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm checking in for the night and heading up for heading up to the room or whatever. But then, like, if there's an alternate exit, I would take that, or out a window, or whatever Panabon recommends, since Panabon sneaks out of windows and roofs and stuff like that more often than I do.
Okay, realizing that Panabon is there, I suppose, go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage.
I mean,
Are you currently chewing a gum that has several courses of a meal?
No, I
John?
tried quickly. I don't know why my camera turns blue every now and then. I do not understand.
Are you eating blueberry pie and the last last
I
flavor
would-
of the gum?
You're turning
don't know why
violet,
you
Violet.
want me to eat blueberry pie. That just sounds like a lot of blueberry.
the lighting keeps changing, and it's funny because, like, on
Yeah.
stream, the green screen slowly fades in and then slowly fades out.
It's kind of cool. Like,
I
we got special
your guess
effects.
is as good as mine. It's fine.
You find as just a side exit that exits not into an alley necessarily, but not towards the main entrance of the tavern, and start heading down the street. Given that you went to a completely different place, Locks, unless again you're just trying to not to get back, you both arrive around the same time back at the lodge. It's fairly empty. There's a few orcs in the main room, just kind of sitting at tables, talking amongst themselves. As you walk in, they kind of look up, see you, recognize you as guests, and go back to what they're doing. The scent of tea is in the air as you enter into the room where Aegis is now relaxed.
Oh, I don't look relaxed. I do not look relaxed. I look like I'm trying to become relaxed.
All right.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Shut up.
Oh, you're getting there about the same time, so you could be there.
I think you and I arrive around the same time.
I run into you, go, "Excuse me, sir," and then look at you and go, "Oh, good idea." And then I'm gonna continue in because I want to check on Zivid.
And I'm going to make awful small talk. So, Locks, how'd your day go? Did you have an eventful day?
No, I went souvenir shopping. What about you?
I was at the library all day.
Oh, great. I'm going to go to my room. All right.
Books in the library.
I go upstairs.
I'm actually super impressed because I totally expected you to go, "How about you?" and Panabon to be like, "Oh, I raided the Assassin Scholars place."
No, after seeing a mummy corpse with stuff inscribed in their chest and getting attacked by a gargoyle, Panabon just wants to find a chair and like maybe some grapes to munch on, because Panabon was attacked by a gargoyle and was not healed in any way, shape, or form. So I would like to at least sit down for like 5 minutes and collect myself. Would be nice.
It's fair. All right, so in the lodge, again, your quarters are all just kind of off in a common area where there's several beds. There is some separation, but there's no like necessarily doorways or what have you. The main hallway that does enter into your area that you're all at. There have been some precautions taken by Shayloon, but it's the lodge is pretty open the way that the Orc Society is. So Zivid is watching with curious interest, and as everybody kind of comes in, he could tell that there's a mix of agitation, excitement, but not sure what, and he doesn't feel inclined right now to just get up and run over to you guys. But he's there.
That's good. I'm too agitated to check on the compass right now. So I will begin taking everything out and setting up the ritual with for Identify.
Absolutely.
Oh, and when we go in, I'll show like Panabon and Lox and whoever's right there with me how to actually get in around the alarm.
Helpful. All right.
I go and grab some tea next to Aegis, but I don't say very much because I can tell Aegis is not happy right now.
I still slide you over a cup and pour the tea for you and put it down, but I don't say anything either.
All right. The mood is somewhat quiet. There's just enough sound coming from Shaylun as she is setting up her ritual, Panabon.
Panabon
Technically,
is,
Panabon has all of the stuff. I know that it's in Shaylun's inventory, but
Oh.
I think it's in. Actually, Panabon's the one who grabbed it.
Yes, I grabbed things. So I start laying out books and papers on a bed at the appropriate place to not get in the way of the ritual, because I at least know enough to not get in the way of things at the moment. And I am kind of in thought as things are developing in my brain. But when it comes to unfurling the map, I actually want to take a few minutes and study the map as I'm laying it out. So, like, of all the things, because I don't read Ashani, so unless it's a book in common, I'm not going to know what it says anyways, and I'm kind of leaving that all. So I'm looking at the map and the symbols that I took off of the corpse. I want to look at them and see if there's anything that looks common in them that I remember from the from Flemgesu's place. But most of it is like stuff that Shaylun can use, and probably the flute wand thingy. That was how the thingies were attracting us, is Panabon's thought. But Panabon does not voice that because Panabon's not feeling great about themselves at the moment, but they're trying not to show it. So
I think after a moment, Shaylun asks you for that.
yes.
Because I think that's the main thing she's trying to identify. So Panabon is sitting, has unfurled a map, several papers that look like somebody just went over them haphazardly with charcoal or something. But upon closer inspection, you do notice that there's runes and stuff, and that it is a rubbing of sorts.
And I set the book from the bedroom I set separate from the other books so that Shaylin will know it was from a different location of the house in case that matters.
Sure. And there's also a couple of pieces of parchment, several rolled up papers, etc. So
We're all in the same room still?
yes.
Okay.
Or able to see what's going on with each other.
Oh, don't forget the I know you probably know what they are, Shaylin, but don't forget the stones from the I don't even know what they're the room
The scrying, whatever.
Yeah, whatever they were. Yeah, because those you have, those I did not take. So
that is true. Did you take? Let me see.
Oh, I also took. So I actually have two sets of markings. I have one from the corpse that I did quick, and I have the one from the bedroom wall fog mirror thing
Yes.
that I crashed into because I didn't know what it was. So there are two of those. And on one, I've drawn a little picture of a dead body, and the other one it looks like an archway, just so I knew which one was which.
Just for the fun of it, give us a where to go. Interesting. Never mind. That's Yeah, never mind. I was gonna have you do a crafting roll, but I don't see that in here, and I think maybe they might have just moved all that into performance. So,
Hmm?
which you can make a performance roll if you want for Panabon to see how well you drew an archway and a dead body sitting on a dais or a sarcophagus.
Yes. Do I have any? I don't think I have any things left. Do I? Where's the thingamabob?
You do have one from Kendermage at a minimum.
I'm gonna use the one from Kender Mage. Thank you, Kender. Because I think this deserves hopefully something better. Hey,
Even people that are not around for you to explain it to will understand where these things came from.
that makes me happy.
So well done. Very, very good.
And then I'm gonna go sit in the corner, and I just want to be out of the way and try not to think about the dead body that was in the sarcophagus and the giant metal armored guards of death.
Okie dokie. So the rest of you see all of that. Is anyone tempted to look it over or do anything else or ask about it?
So, over the last 2 episodes, it's been pretty. I've been pretty blatant about my expectations of what was supposed to happen. It's been a part of roleplay. We've discussed that it was supposed to be a recon mission, just to go in and out quietly and come back out with some info that would get us a little bit further. So there should be no confusion as to why Aegis is pissed right now. So I sit there, and from over my coffee cup, I say, "So what have we learned, Panabon?"
Well, at this moment, we've learned that you were a jerk for not healing me at all and healing everyone else, for one.
I cast cause pain. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I've learned there's always a secret room with a dead body in it when dealing with evil people, but I don't think that should be something I've learned or should be surprised by.
And then you see my eyes narrow, and I meant the information you gathered from in the house.
Oh, well, I don't speak Ashani, so except for the map, which I'm still trying to figure out which way it's supposed to actually go because it doesn't seem to have a compass mark on it. Yeah, Dollar doing evil things. That's
so I turn and I look at the others in the room who can speak Shani. I don't say anything. I just look at you guys.
It's not me. I just continue to drink my tea.
You can, right, Shay? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still doing my ritual and looking at everything, but I look up at you and you can tell I'm understanding what's going on from my face.
Panabon, you do know that the letter is set with the initials that equate to P and F, Draconic, and so that's what it's signed off as. And you do know that Pierre de Flomgesu is the P and F that you suspect is involved in this anyway.
I just kind of shut my eyes and I go, for the record, because this is going to happen, and I really don't want to do this, I'm just letting you know for the record, and I will lodge my objection now while I am tired and still slightly shell-shocked before I am ebullient again. I really, really, really don't want to have to go back to Valakir. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, and then when we go, I've already griped, and then I can be over it by the time that we're heading that direction.
It's absolutely fine because the way we are going, none of us will ever make it home alive.
I mean, technically, I assumed after I was attacked by a person with no arms and a long tongue, I was probably never going home again, if that's a thing. But like just for places that I want to visit in the world, that is very, very low on the list. But considering old Flemmy's signature is on the letter, um, if Flemmy is not here, then we're eventually going to have to go see Flemmy because Flemmy will leave a trail of bodies in their wake. Which, no offense to Brunia, but that does seem to be the Dragonborn way, sadly.
Just and Panabon, please just help me understand what happened in there.
Well,
And I look over at Aegis for a second and I go, I know things didn't go as planned,
yes.
but
Well, here's a fun fact. Our scholar friend is dabbling in magic and had locked doors. So either there was a tripwire we went across that one of us couldn't tell because maybe there's magical tripwires. I'm not equipped for that. But we were attacked by, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it was inside, not outside. So I don't know if it's still a gargoyle while it's inside. That was the first thing. And
Focus.
then
I'm trying.
Yes.
Not you.
Oh.
Hey, that's
I
good
think it was
timing.
So we were going through
Okay,
the rooms and we were looking at books. The scholar left out some stones and they were doing something with them, and there was a machine there like what I found at Flemmy's place, and so I knew there'd be a secret room. Now the problem is there was one door that was locked by magic, and I didn't get to go in that room because I went down a fireplace and into the bedroom and kitchen, and I really should have grabbed some food while I was. No, I did. I grabbed potatoes. I have potatoes, and I take a potato out of like my pocket, and I just start eating while I'm talking. And I'm much more excited by the potato.
He just is
And I
going to
go-
commit murder.
You can see me breathing heavily at this point.
And I'm like, so there was supposed to be recon, and I was just going to be like, what are we taking? And let's not leave, any tracks because that's what I do professionally, right? And then like all of a sudden there's gargoyles live and there's the suits of armor, and I tried stabbing them while they were like not alive, but then they were alive and I was in another room, so I had to come. And it was a whole thing. And bottom line, there was a secret room. If the dude was trying to do what the hand thing does and trying to bring things back to life, like it's just why do people want to bring people back from the dead? What's the point? Like, does anyone have a reason to do this? Like, what are we trying to accomplish? Like, as a society,
all right, Panabon. Understood. There was magic. You set some kind of alarm off. The plan didn't go as it was set. Aegis.
There is a sewer system underneath every level, at least the one level we were on. So we did learn more about the city if we need a quick escape somewhere, is that there is a possibility, and the sewers are really nice and clean. So, like, there's always that.
All right.
No good.
Dear God, has it been 10 minutes, so my ritual's over?
I mean, I think they've
Not
been
yet.
talking for 10 minutes, so I think
Not quite yet.
I think you're good.
As I kind of exhale and scratch or like rub on the floor to release my circle, I go, we found a way that they're tracking us. They seem to know where Panabon is. They have some divination magic set up. We screwed it up to buy us some time, but that's where these rocks came from. I think that's what's probably set off the first attack by the stone creature. And then when Panabon recognized that there was a second that there was a hidden room, it was awful. It was a body that was decomposed, and runes were carved into the skin and the bones, and it was there was some kind of circle. I didn't get time to study it. I don't know what it was for, but I've seen something
That's on
similar.
that sheet of paper, by the way. I copied down as many things as you could before you set the room on fire. I don't know if it's complete.
Did you just say that in game, or did you just say that out of game?
No, I said that in game, and I'm like pointing generally to the two papers. The one is the archway.
I put my hand in my
I slam my cup down. You set the room on fire.
Shayloon.
I did.
You don't want that room to exist.
And you collected stones with which they are tracking you now. Why do we have stones? Why was the room on fire?
They were using the stones to track us. Now that they don't have the stones, it's going to be harder to track us.
Wait, I thought we took stones. Sorry, this is out of character. I thought we took stones from the room.
We did take stones from the room. They were using the stones to the way they're set up to find, like, pinpoint and scry where Panabon was. That's my assumption. So taking the stones means that they can't do that until they replace the stones.
Well, unless they track the stones too. Anyway, back in character. Back into character. This was a simple fact-finding mission, and you come back with extra items, and you've burnt a room down. We are not professional. We are setting ourselves up to die. I did not come here to do that. And I do not wish to clean up these messes every time they happen, just because I have a gift to heal. You called me a jerk because I did not heal you? Part of me wanted to see you pass out.
That's why I'm calling you a jerk.
All right. Arguing isn't going to help us. Well, what was taken was already taken. We did get some more information that is useful, Aegis, regardless of how that information was taken. Yes, it didn't go along with what this plan was. Panabon and Shayloon, I didn't think I would be saying that, but regardless, what's done is done. We've probably put more of a target on our head.
We have just started something now. They are aware of at least Shayloon and Panabon. Possibly Perunia.
Oh, they were already aware of us anyways, considering we got attacked by assassins after leaving the bathhouse.
This started months ago in Palacune. I stumbled upon the same scene in Eineland. Then Panabon found the same kind of circle at Flamgesu's place, and then people were sent to kill us. So what just happened is just a recurrence of what has happened already to both of us months ago.
But now it will happen to all of us.
You're free to go then.
You notice my bags are packed.
Also, I just want to say this for the record. If you don't think they're not going to come after you for having a god they don't like, I don't think you understand how badly the Inquisition doesn't want there to be any god other than Melfrune.
I can't respond to that because that's kind of murder, John.
I haven't talked about Melfrune, but I mean, this is me supposing something. That was me supposing something in character. That wasn't like a meta thing.
All right. So we need to. What did we find? What were the things that you just identified, Miss Shayloon?
I just start, like, everything that was sitting in front of me, I just start tossing out of my smudge circle and go, wand of webs, scroll of knock, and map to this. A note saying that, from Gesu, saying that they've collected all that, basically linking this scholar to everything we've already known. Oh, and by the way, a list that includes the god that we have the glove of, and a list of other gods, so there's probably artifacts collected of theirs as well, and that's why we're targeted, is because they want the goddamn glove. The dream that we had, Aegis, the dream that I had with the god that I had, I think they're summoning this Pantheon leader to destroy it or something else, but they're collecting these pieces from each of these gods from this Pantheon. And the one missing piece is Eisenach. I correct myself.
The list and the letter So the list is in the party sheet, and even if you can't read Ashani necessarily, you can see that there is a list of 5 hastily kind of scrawled words in Ashani, and that 4 of them are like X'd, and then 1 is left unmarked. And that seems to be what Shaylun is referencing in terms of the list of names.
Oh, I'm also gonna. Is Zivit still in the room?
He is.
Okay. The map is just of Vaishan, right? Or is the map of the whole Caiaphas?
The map is of Vaishan with there's like an inset that then has the whole world kind of smaller in the corner, but it's mostly of Vaishan.
Are all of the X's of locations in Vaishan, or any of the X's on the smaller inset map?
Yes, there are. You don't really, without having a very firm understanding of sort of where everything is in the geography of Vaishan, it's not really super easy to know what the locations represent that are marked on it, but definitely one of them is Suslam Oasis. The other one is Laluti, has a circle on it, just a really big circle. The rest there's just kind of like notes and etchings next to several sort of locations throughout Vaishan.
I say, Zivit, you're kind of traveled in the area, right? You know Vaishan pretty well, yeah?
Yeah, yes, I do know, I do know the continent.
Do you would you if you look at this map, can you tell us anything about like these locations, like even just generally speaking?
Sure. If yeah, sure. I could
Thank
look it
you.
over and maybe see what and he does so, and he looks at it for a little bit. So we're here in Gialaluti, and he points to the location on the map with that's circled. There's a the way Ublishan, the continent, is shaped. On the western side, there's a big inlet, like a giant like harbor sound, and Gialaluti sits inside of that. And then he points to sort of centered and to the north, there appears to be another oasis or lake. And when he looks at that, he says, that is the city of Guzul. This and he indicates a area in the north of Miracle-Dashta, north of Suslam, in the mountain range. He says, I don't know what this is, but this down here, and he indicates a location south of Miracle-Dashta, kind of along the coast as well. This is Oko. It's a southern village, and then man, why did that close? I'm really annoyed by that.
And out of game, if you'd like to find out more about any of the locations in Caiaphas, you can visit the World Anvil for Caiaphas, especially if you've joined the Kickstarter.
Yep, indeed. This particular the map that I am referencing right now is, I think, open to everybody.
I don't see it.
Linked into the Twitch now, and then
okay.
also I'll give you all a link as well.
Also, while you're doing that, when you say wand of web, is that going to be elucidated for anybody? Because I don't know what a wand of web is, and I'm curious now.
I think she was very angry, and she was just that was her way of telling Aegis that we found things. These are important, kind of thing.
I will ask later.
I imagine this is what I imagine happened, and please, John, tell me if I'm wrong. We were just having that slightly heated moment, and then Panabon sort of got up to go over and talk to Zivit, right?
Yes.
Was Shaylun or Aegis doing anything in that time?
Sulking.
Steaming.
Then I would have been the same, sort of looking at the things on the floor, or that Shaylun pointed at, looking over at Aegis, who is almost having steam come out of his head like a teacup. And then I'm just sort of speechless. I would probably imagine.
Okay.
Whatever happens next, I'm just sort of watching. And
So Zivid then points to the final location that is circled on the map and says, "This is Daro. It's a big town, maybe small city on the coast. So yeah, that's where these locations are. Let's get from Shaylun. Give me a intelligence. I like to use saving throw for this, so go ahead and give me an intelligence saving throw. Okay. Check something really quick. Not that it matters too much. Looking up. All right. So with a 19, because the bless is no longer up, I'll go ahead and remove that from the trackers. All of those names that Zivid mentioned ring a bell for Shaylun, and thinking on it, they match, she believes, the locations of these other deities. So
So this is an Ishani pantheon. They're all from Vaishan.
right. So the first name on that list in your two is the word for where that individual kind of ruled, if you will, is not one of the locations named, but there is that fifth location that was circled that Zivid said he doesn't know what's there at all. And that's, you remember, well, you can refer to the book if you wanted, and if you did, it would be, the name of that is Kotwaro, sorry. And yeah, so each of these locations correspond with one of these supposed deities.
So they must each have a tomb there and have an artifact that was retrieved. And we brought the last one where they needed it.
Lox just lets out a very exasperated sigh.
I still have the glove, yeah, I think.
Yeah, we have the glove.
Okay.
I think I had taken it to identify while you were curing people in the oasis, and I don't think I ever gave it back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, no, I think.
I remember I was holding on to it because in case I figured out what it did, and it was kind of like an in case of an emergency, use it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But
you want to see if in case of a break glass.
And he took it off
Yeah.
of the hand it was on too, because I was holding it.
If it comes
That's sitting outside the lodge.
If it comes to giving up your soul or dying, give up the soul. Like,
I don't know.
Okay. Really quick, I'll put this into this real quick. So the letter itself
Ooh.
reads.
I'll adjust it for chat here.
Whoa.
There we go. So that's the letter. I guess it would have been better if I had actually just did the whole thing at once, but
Hugs and kisses at the end there.
Evil
So
hugs and
Zivid.
kisses.
Zivid, of course, is reading it. You can see Zivid reading it because apparently Zivid speaks and reads Ashani as well.
And it makes sense. Are you going to tell those of us who don't read Ashani? Because I still have no idea what that says.
Oh, sorry.
No
I can.
idea.
Yeah. The letter translated, since I was shouting about it, is Scholar, I have repositioned Inquisitor Geinzer to you, along with a contingent of our Dark Claws. This should enable you to continue the work. Remember, it all starts with you. Through your efforts, we will have proof, and from there, we can take that power. PF.
Does that sound
doesn't-
familiar, Perunia?
Yeah. Maria would.
Sound familiar to you, Perunia?
She's out right now.
Yeah, she's not here right this moment,
Oh.
but
I will be relaying that to Perunia with the same exasperated nose sigh and head shake that I just did in C.
all right. So we've got them chasing these gods for artifacts, it looks like. Right?
Well,
Is that
yeah, because you know what the glove does, so imagine what else is out there for these other gods. And if you put them together, maybe it brews an ultimate power or summons the Pantheon leader or whatever.
and like you said, they've been after Panabon since Palacune, right?
Something
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
So the order of events, I guess, is I discovered Arturus's deadomancy that was similar to the one we just found in the scholar's room. I found that in
Okay.
Ireland at the university. Then, when my teacher and I went to Palacune to Flonopafel, that's where I met Panabon, and while I was arrested for Panabon's murder,
You got me back for that, though. I
They-
mean, to be fair.
they went and searched the mansion of Flemgesu and found more ritualistic stuff and the special sheath they have. So we knew that, and Arturus came to me at the prison, so we know Arturus and Flemgesu were connected. Then with this scholar, the note ties them to Flemgesu as well, and they have a similar deadomancy thing to Arturus, so it's all connected. And I think Uzenda, what he was sent for, I think he was connected too, because he was sent to retrieve this artifact and bring it here to Gialaluti, where I guess they're bringing all these artifacts together. If it's the big circle on the map.
I have a silly idea / question. You think they're trying to bring back Milfroon? Because they can't. I know a lot of it is like lip service.
I don't know what they're doing, but whatever it is, I think we can all agree it's bad.
Yes.
So it's not
Agreed.
great.
I think the big thing that we get from here, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a smart man, but it sounds like whatever this Dragonborn Inquisition that's here is aiding the scholars to find this random or not random, item that used to belong to this god. And he sort of chuckles just because he's nervous. And they're out to kill us, and we just stormed the guy's house, and there's witnesses all over the place who saw us leaving that place, right? How are we going? What are we going to do?
They were
How
all
do we fight an entire army of Dragonborn Inquisition and whoever these relic hunters are?
Well, since subterfuge is now out of the question, perhaps it's in Perunia's hands to gather some sort of information or talk to the Inquisitors that she can trust, know a little bit more about how we should proceed.
Perunia was already on the Inquisitor's list. Panabon and I have been for months.
And now me and Aegis, probably.
I mean, technically, if you don't if you don't give fealty to Melfrune, you'd be on their list anyways. They really don't like people.
Panabon, this is not the time for jokes.
It's not
I know.
a joke. It's literally. I don't think it can be impressed upon you, but in Palacune, you literally have to believe in Melfrune or you disappear.
Yeah, but this isn't Palacune.
I know. But wherever the Inquisition goes, they want to make it Palacune. That's why I'm really confused.
They could be
That's
trying
why
to kill
they
the
would
other
do-
gods.
And then Lox starts thinking really hard because him and Leah would have shared this already, but they had dreams of their gods as well. Their gods being, right? Their gods sort of given, well, whoever our patrons are, being locked in some kind of battle, and there were ghosts of elves that prayed to these gods or these beings, right? Maybe in some ways there's some connection there as well. Aegis, you had a story about meeting your god or speaking with them, right? And they had been missing or they hadn't been there in a long time before you came with all of that. It feels as if for some reason fate is drawing all of us here at this moment to do something about it. We come from very different parts of the world, and yeah, we're not good at what we do, Aegis. You're right. We're not. But I don't think we got a choice. Not the way all of this is playing out. I would have loved to just be back home, living a quiet life with my family. But fate brought me here. Fate brought you here. And fate brought all of us here to stop whatever this is. I think we need Perunia here to figure out next steps as to how we're going to gather some more information. But I'm at a loss. He just hangs his head.
I'm gonna dismiss Minya and set up the ritual to call her back.
Okay. With that, as it's getting late, and with all of this weighing over everyone's head, in sort of to, as Shailun brings back Minya, the weight of the day and all your tiredness sort of burdens you down, and we're going to go ahead and take a long rest for everybody, and we're also going to take our 10 minutes and see what the next day brings when we come back from the break.
My long rest is me going spell, spell, spell,
Spell, spell, spell, spell, spell,
spell, spell, spell, spell.
I love it so much.
For
So-
hours. Just
Well-
for hours.
For hours. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Prior to the break, everybody was having a crisis of emotion of one sort or another, and then they all went their separate ways, eventually settled in for the evening and took a rest. Upon waking the next morning after everybody's long rest, which I always forget to actually do the long rest, so let me remember to do that right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, did that button get pressed?
Button. All right.
Yeah,
have
I
pressed
don't
the
like that
button.
it says turn
What are
dark
the
claw.
terms? What's happening? I don't like this. Not fan.
Oh yeah, that was just me opening the thing and pressing the wrong button. The dark claws are not there anymore. That's leftover. That's remnants.
They can't even hit floating armor. They're
But
Yes.
those were like the new recruits. I bet you when they actually attack us, it'll be like, Sergeant General, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Danny's saving all of his good rolls for me to
Yes.
hit us with.
Yes. All right. So as everybody wakes up and starts kind of preparing for the day,
I don't wake up as early as usual. I kind of meander around in my bed a little bit.
Oh, no. I feel shooketh. That means that something's going on.
Lox, as you are waking up, you kind of kick something near your feet. And as you look down, you notice there is a small nondescript sack, for lack of a better term. It is, and it's not on top of the blanket. It's like you actually have to like peel the blanket away. It looks like somebody had tucked this under your blanket. There's a simple cord wrapped around the top.
I examine it.
Looking at it without opening it yet, you kind of feel it. You feel like a crinkle, as if there might be parchment or paper inside, and also some sort of, it feels like maybe a stone.
I hold it out like it's like dynamite, like really far from my body, and then when it doesn't do anything bad, sort of, I want to look in at it, but I'm also nervous. Yeah, I guess I would try to look at it.
You remove the cord that's wrapped around and very carefully kind of open it away from you and then peer over the edge. And you do see that inside there is a piece of paper, but also a familiar crystalline orb.
Wait, wasn't this? And he is he starts like jumping up out of the bed, starts looking around. I want to check for any tracks or signs that somebody was in here, because this looks oddly familiar.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception or investigation test, depending on how closely you're trying to examine your surroundings.
I'm always gonna go with perception on that one, Danny.
And anybody who is up at this point probably notes Locke's kind of looking about a little bit excitedly, whether positive or negative, uncertain. But
I'm up, but I'm actually eating breakfast, so I'm not in the tent. So
We are in a building.
Yeah, it's all together.
But I look over my book, because I get up and read.
there are no
No tracks.
no tracks per se. I mean, it is a building. It'd be hard to leave tracks, especially given the tracks you think you're looking for.
Mhm.
They don't really leave tracks in the first place a lot of time.
Right.
But
All right. I would stand up. Oh, what does the letter say?
well, as you take the letter and open it,
Do I even know?
it
Is
is
it
it is
something
in
I
your
can read?
inventory.
It's
It's
dirty.
written. It's written in a very rudimentarily scrawled common.
Okay. There we go. Huh. Oh, got it.
What is it? What is it?
Sorry. I was trying to open it, Danny, and I couldn't figure out how to do it for a while earlier, which is why I didn't read it till just now. He sort of brushes off his things and puts the bag in with his things, but he goes over and says to Shayloon, and I would also make sure Perunia hears it because Perunia wanted to know too. I would
Has
say
not returned, actually.
Oh, has not returned. Ooh. So then I would just go over to Shayloon, who was also really mad that we weren't looking for this person. I think we got a message from Leah. Well, not Leah.
Well, add some
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. I think we got a message from Rosalia last night. Or I did. She gave me the orb and said that she's doing some more investigating, that she's looking into something. But that she thinks I should hold on to this for now. And he pulls the letter out, shows Shayloon.
Read me the letter. Read me the letter.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. It's really cool. It says lax instead of locks, so that was cool.
Boston?
Yeah. And it says these people try to control a thing they cannot, and others too. If it wakes, it will be trouble. I leave you the orb. Morgano and Votkaka are sisters. I think Morgano will help you too. I will stay and learn more.
I'm sorry, what?
Right. You wouldn't know all of that. Votkaka is the being that gave me my powers, and the other one is the one that gave Rosalia her powers. They're sisters, and this orb she thinks will aid us, and she thinks that because of that connection, I might be able to use it. But until then, she's still looking into some information about something awakening. And given all of the talk that we had last night about the atoms, I wonder if it's not connected in some way there too.
Well, if what I said last night, if they do try to kill the other gods, that would maybe impact yours, include yours too.
I'm pretty sure that and I'm not sure if Vakaka is a god. I don't know. But what I do know is that she and her sister were here a long time ago. And they're not or they weren't for a long time. And for some reason, when all of this magic and things crept back into the world, they were able to reach out to me and Rosalia, at least at that point. Maybe
I flash back to the memory of me and Rosalia on the roof when I was showing her how to use the orb. And I start trying to explain it the same way, which I don't remember, to Lox, to see if he can use it and communicate.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that right now, Dan.
So what you explain is that if you you can focus on the orb and ask it a yes or no question.
Ooh.
And
So I'm not going to use it right now.
And that there is there is some chance that it will be answered.
Got it.
So you can ask it things like, is Aegis being a giant dick? Yeah.
He closes his eyes and he goes, "All right, got it." And he tucks it away. He says, "I want to get everybody's opinion on what we should ask it. How, Miss Shayloon, how often can I use it?"
Thought bubble with Danny's face in it.
So you can attempt every day.
Got it.
And if you do get an answer, then you can attempt a follow-on question, and there's a chance that will be answered. Up to 3 questions, basically.
Got it.
I feel like I should have just been moving my mouth so that those words came out of Shay's mouth.
Got it. Got it. I kind of asked you, knowing you wouldn't have remembered that. Sorry. So then I would get every. Oh, it makes light. Right. I definitely need that because I'm blind in the dark. So I get everybody up and I'm like really excited, and I go to Perunia's place to try to find her, and I realize she's not here. I'm like, where's Perunia?
Meanwhile, outside.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting that up. I have my teacup in my hand, and I'm like, my gaze is like shifting on the horizon outside of the tent, and I mouth to myself, "She's not back." And I looked at the bottom of my teacup, and I cast augury. I just want to know if she's involved in anything good or bad. So I'll cast augury.
Very well, you will cast augury. So, augury is going to give you a perhaps a good, negative, both or neither result. So, as you finish your tea and then look down at the tea leaves therein, you notice that there are combinations within that indicate that something of benefit had occurred, but also that it is linked very intrinsically to some negative results or events.
So essentially, she's okay for now, but what it involves with is a threatening. That's the feeling that I get. So as you turn to everyone and you're like, "Where's Perunia?" That's when I step through the curtain that's blocking us from the rest of the room. I believe she is fine for now. I get the feeling that she's handling something and bigger and possibly more ominous, but I feel that she is fine for now.
Last night I did summon Minya back, and so I'm sure I got filled in on all of the Tiske stuff. But I'm going to, because I assume I called Minya back after Perunia went to go see him. So I'm just totally assuming, I say nothing, but I'm totally assuming that she and Tiske hooked up.
Jesus.
We will all note, you will assume what you like, but we'll all note that you did bring Minya back before the long rest. So you do not really know if Perunia managed a long rest or only a short rest. So
That's the best way to say that I've ever heard. I love it.
Or exhausted, you know?
All this is going
In this
on,
case,
man.
is exhausted a good condition? No.
If you're moving
Anyway.
I'm sorry, but for any woman that's moving at half speed the next day, like this.
I mean, it's got to be great.
Wow,
Anyway,
far afield.
D&D, and
we're all
you-
adults, you guys. We're all adults. Anyway,
You'll notice that
Yeah.
you'll notice that Panabon is not joining in what I assume is the good-natured yet awkward.
I didn't
ribbing
say
since
that.
you were younger, so there's-
right,
okay.
that was just us.
But you'll notice that when people are kind of going, "Where is Pruny?" Panabon's not really paying attention. They're just kind of eating, and they've got 3 pieces of paper in front of them. The first piece of paper, whoever passes by in the group first, Panabon holds it up and goes, "Here, these are the insignias that I remember for the Palakinian Dragonborn by rank. I don't know if they're all correct, but everyone should study them so we know how high level they are. And then the other 2, if somebody wants to peek, one just looks like a gardening lisp, so it's a thieving thing, which will be weird and imperceptible to everyone. But there's a third piece of paper, and at the top it just says Gnome God, and underneath it's like traits Panabon would like the Gnome God to have. And Panabon's just like wise ? Kind ? Noble ? Eve ? And it's just like Panabon trying to figure out what they want their gnome god to look like, because if everybody else is going to get a god, Panabon wants a god too. And it's at this point, it's just a matter of figuring out what kind of god Panabon wants.
Are you using that? Are you creating that god with standard array, or are you rolling random?
Panabon is just making it. Panabon is basically trying to create the god equivalent of Sanatsu Nagato, which is the kind of Edison Tesla of this universe.
It also reminds me of Divinity 2, where all of the main characters get a god character. Anyway,
Panabon's just like feeling a little bit of sour grapes, and is like, you know what? Everybody else gets a god, so I'm gonna make like. I'm not quite sure how Panabon is going to do this, but maybe Panabon's going to like try to light the list on fire at some point, being like, "Here, maybe this will create a god for me." I don't know. But one of the sheets of paper is like the traits of a gnome god of some kind of unknown origin, but there is no magic on the list. It's all traits, and it's nothing to do with a god having.
How is your god going to communicate with you if there's no magic?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. I just know that.
Also, I love that like we're in the middle of a crisis where like we found out that this whole reason that we were cast out and had to leave home is like coming down on us and happening now and here, and like we're upset about this, and you're like, I think I'll go god shopping.
I mean, there's also the insignia thing and the garden list. The garden list is actually very proactive, and if we end up going somewhere on the day, Panabon will quote-unquote mail the letter. Not really. There's like a thief way to mail letters, but it's kind of an update to the Thieving Guild, along with letting them know that there is something deeper than the scholar at play, and to stand by and please don't kill me while I'm doing this, and there'll be plenty of benefits in the end for everyone, and then whatever the thief equivalent of finger guns is at the end of the letter.
The insignia, like defining all those was very helpful. I'm like, okay, that was very helpful. What's the second sheet do? Yep, that's more Panabon, and then the third sheet, and we're off the rails. Okay, like
when Panabon tries to give the paper, Lox would sort of be like, "Hey, come here. We all need to talk." And he's still really animated because last night he was kind of sad, and then that happened, and now he's hyped up. And he would have everyone in the room, and he'd go, "All right, we can ask it a question. I know we've seen this before. I already explained this to," and he goes through all of it, and he's like, "We can ask it a question. Aegis, this might be exactly what helps us get some more information on what we need to do. But like, what should we ask it? I don't know."
Where will our death come from? The north?
It's a yes or no question, Aegis.
Oh, okay. Well, thought it was a good question.
I would look at the other two. You guys.
Asking gods for things isn't really something I'm experienced about. with.
All right. Well,
Who answers the question?
and it's not a god, or at least I don't know it's a god. I would say, you remember, Rosalia and Morgano, the entity that gave her powers, right?
I remember Rosalia.
Well, yeah. So the entity that gave Rosalia her powers
Like
is named
Nipoe
Morgana.
gives Aegis his powers.
It's kind of different. It's more like, and then he goes into his story, which you can watch on the Preludes.
Well
No, he goes, you can, in my situation, for example, unlike where Aegis is a believer in this god, and then he kind of goes, I made a deal with someone, and then he gets sort of nervous talking about it. He's like, I made a deal with Vakaka, who is the sister of Morgano. So there was some kind of exchange of something, and I don't know what I'm helping her with, but Vakaka is the reason I'm able to, and he just for dramatic effect summons the Raven gun into his hands, and then goes, makes it go away.
Get a little golf clap from Panabon.
Yeah. See, and I don't know much about it, but it's that entity, and somehow it's connected to all of this as well. She might have more information into all of what's going on, and or at least how we can get some more information on it, right? I mean, I don't have any other ideas. This just seemed like the best one, and Rosalia is still trying to help us, which makes me happy.
What do we ask?
We could confirm some of our suspicions. I know it's yes and no, so it would take a while, but could say, are they trying to summon a god? Are they trying to destroy a god or several? If we care what they're doing, I don't know.
Is it a suit of armor? Because we have a glove, and maybe it was like an armor piece. Because we have artifacts, we don't really know what. We have a glove,
and we don't know what the rest are, right? Or if there is rest.
Is it like a suit? Like, is it like gloves and shoes? Maybe
So
it's like,
there's something here, right? In this city. We know that they're after something that's here. Where could they get, where could something be hiding in a place like a giant cavern? Everyone lives down here, right?
The scholar, if we, I side eye Aegis and go, if we were to do proper reconnaissance and watch his movements, we might be able to see where he goes, because clearly he's in charge of all this. It starts with you, is what the letter said.
Reconnaissance is not an option any longer.
How about a trap? They're trying to get us anyway.
Perhaps we should ask who specifically called the hit on Panabon. Perhaps they can reveal that.
I mean, how much time do you have?
It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question, everyone. We're asking WH questions, and
Who called the hit on Panabon? Yes. I mean, even I know the answer to that one.
I think you're right, Miss Shayloon. We could get some information from this scholar, right? What if like there's got to be a way to lure them, or at least him, out in the open where we could interrogate him. Maybe.
Aren't we supposed to get down into the sewers? Did I dream that happened? I could have dreamt that. It's very possible I dreamt
I
that.
believe you did. I believe
Yeah.
We supposed to go down somewhere. Was that just something that was told to me? I can't remember.
We're going to add to that in or out of character.
Well, no, because I can't remember if it's in or out of character. But we were told when we got to Merakadashta, either by Titsuke or the thieves that I met at the thieving bar. One told one of us at some point a couple episodes ago, or a few, that there was something happening in the very bottom level, and we were like, "Nope, we're definitely not going down the sewers." I don't remember who was there for that conversation, but I definitely remember it happening.
I said I
Because
didn't
it
want
was
to go
like
down
a-
the manhole. And then we went
No, it
down
was
the
like
manhole.
it was like a choose your own adventure branching path, and it was like we either have to go after the scholar or go to the sewers. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's very possible.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it sounds like there might be something down in the cavern sewers, whatever the bottom level is, that could be connected to this. We could ask if there's something down there that we should investigate that would lead us to this. That's yes or no, and then we know to go down there, right?
Out of character, I don't remember there being a conversation about anything down at the bottom.
I don't remember that either.
I think I remember Dan kind of like outlining what might be at the lower levels, because we asked like about that sewage and whatnot. But I don't think that we were given any info to go or to investigate anything down there.
I think maybe in my mind,
there was a mention. So somebody is remembering something, because there was sometime in the past couple of days or the past several sessions where something about what was happening locally and down below near the river level was happening.
Oh,
is this assassin-y stuff?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably assassin-y stuff.
Remember it all.
I'm going with there's been enough excitement and like confusion in the past few days that it's just something you're gonna have to either come back to or get that information
or ask a question about it. So we could ask a question about that.
Maybe we come back. Look,
yeah,
maybe
we could. We don't have to
know
do it
the
now.
question right now.
Yeah.
And we don't want to just waste a question just to waste it.
You do get one every day, and he starts sort of jigging. He's kind of happy about helping.
Can we use the question one day to ask if there's a gnome god?
No.
Someday, Panabon, maybe when we're not on an actual mission.
I mean,
so
that could
question.
take like years.
Yes,
assuming we live that long.
A question. Shay is giving Panabon that look before turning back to Lux. We have the last object. If the goal was to bring them all here, shouldn't we just get it out of town as quickly as possible? And us?
You think they're going to let us leave town?
I mean,
we've been running for months, Panabon. They haven't stopped us from leaving anywhere.
I think you're right. I think we could get it out. But if they're already this close, maybe we can stop whatever they're doing anyway and just get more of it. I don't quite know.
Yeah, I mean, stopping it would be great. Getting the other objects away from them would be great. But, like, if we're the reason that they end up getting the last one...
Then why don't we ask that? That's a question. Right?
Are they after the glove?
No, we could ask if we leave town, if that will mess up their plans. Something like that, right?
Should we leave town, I guess, is a good question. From the gods' perspective of if they expect us to stay or keep this item safe. I mean...
Does that sound good?
Takes the decision-making away from us.
That's a good point. I mean, they're still going to chase us. They've done all this research and blah blah blah. You know, like I don't think we'll ever hear the end of it, but at least they won't be able to do whatever they are trying to do. If it wakes, it will be a trouble, is all the message that I got from Rosalia said, right?
Just, I say, just ask your question. You have another day tomorrow to ask another if it is not fruitful. Personally, I would like to know what Tieske knows about any of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of which, Danny, can you give me any info from the Minya spending a couple days with Tiske, and like where did he go? Is he seem like he's actually on our side? Is he like doing shady dealings with people?
So I will give you that information. Given the time right now, I think it's we'll continue with the thread right now because that's going to be a little bit. And if you want to talk about that, that will give you some time to talk about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask it, if we leave town with this item, will it foil the plans that whoever is trying to gather them is putting into place? Right? All right.
Okay. I would like you to roll a D100 as you take the orb and you focus on your question.
Okay. How do I get a D100?
So if you
Okay.
right-click the 10-sided die,
Yeah.
you'll see a percent, and you can just click that, and it'll put it in your hand.
Okay.
While he's doing this, I just turn away and go back to like prepping my spells for the day and stuff like that, because I don't think asking the gods for help is particularly helpful to us. So
So as you focus on your question, if we take this glove out of the city, will that foil their plans? The globe, it doesn't, brighten is not the right word. But it does seem to get lighter or maybe more clear. And then within it, you see at the center like a dark, maybe a darkness, of maybe a dark cloud of some sort. It starts to get bigger. Then you realize that it's you're seeing like a flock of like a murder of crows, basically, kind of swirling around within. They kind of continue to swirl and swirl, and eventually it's like they fly off camera, and then one returns and just kind of glides to a stop, and it looks like it perches maybe on a ground or something. It's all very abstract within, and it kind of looks outwards towards you. And you feel like you can read the answer just in its gaze, and then you hear it crow once before it then flaps away. Nobody else really sees this. The answer that you get to your question of, if we take this glove away, will that foil the plans, is no.
Oh, snap. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he would say, "Oh shit," is what he would say, but he would look at this and go, "That was freaky." And then he'd look around. He'd look at everybody else.
with that, like with her back like to him, sitting on the floor, going, "Welcome to magic."
This does mean you have the chance at a second question.
Ooh.
All right. All right. I didn't think this far. Anyone got a second question? If not, I might ruin it because I've always been really horrible at these.
Save it for next time if you need
No,
to.
no, it's a second question. It's like connected. Like if you get one, you get another one in the same like.
You have to ask right away.
Is there another glove?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, Danny. Is it like I can ask later today, or is it like
No, it's
right
within
now?
it's within a minute.
Got it. All right. Looking around,
What did it say?
It said no. A definitive no.
Yeah, it makes sense because it would just delay it if we got it away. It doesn't mean they stopped searching for it.
Right.
You could ask, should we stay and fight? Should we destroy the dragon?
I think the answer to that is going to be a yes anyway, right? Like we're in it already, right? And then he sort of thinks for a moment and goes, "All right. Is our way to stop this deeper in the caverns, like having talked about like what's deep and below everything, right? Maybe that's his answer. Is what they're after here deep inside this cavern. Wait, I don't know.
So given what you know of the area given what you know of the area as locks, you do know, so like deep below is like there's the river level, and of course you get an idea that there's sewers down there, but you also have an idea that there might be other things. And so the idea that I think you're building in your head of deep below is like river level or lower. So
yeah.
So I'm going to say that that's what it is, because you're forming the question mostly kind of in your head.
Right. Right.
So roll the percentile.
I think Sarah was not happy with that.
It's okay. Like I was just gonna add on to it, like try to pinpoint where they're keeping these other items. Like, are they in the scholar's house? Are they in where?
So you get this question answered as well. It's a 30% chance. So you scored under 30. So this question will be answered.
That's a really good D100 roll, man. You might have summoned your god there. That's a really good roll.
So
I think I did. I got ravens when I looked into this.
So as you start to form this question, you can see in the ball there is a single other crow or raven kind of flying far back, and then it starts to fly towards you, and then it just kind of like gets super close, like almost you feel like it could just fly out of the globe and hit you in the face, but then it just disappears as it kind of goes off the screen of the crystal. And as it was coming, the answer that you got was yes.
That means I get another question.
You can attempt another question.
So what was that question?
Is what they're trying to do, basically it amount to, is what they are trying to do, the enemy, the bad guys, whoever, is that happening? Does it have to do with something that is below, like river level or below? So the idea of it being in a sewer or something down there.
Oh,
all right. Everybody, I think the answer to that one was yes.
Shay will put down her book and kind of turn, gauging, like getting a little interested.
I get one more.
Try to pinpoint where in below, under his house, under the city, outside the city, like.
How about? And then he looks at Panabon for a moment. I wonder if the Thieves Guild would be able to lead us to it. Would it be stupid to ask that?
It would be suicidally stupid to ask that. Yes, they would probably not be.
No. But I mean, they have the most information in the entire town. They're a Thieves Guild. If they don't, I mean, what kind of thieves would they be? That'd be my thing, right? They probably know of at least some ancient caverns or some tunnels, or maybe they'll have some information that we don't.
Sure. Yeah, we definitely know towns where we live in.
Right.
That's kind of the whole deal.
And then he stops listening and starts asking. And he's going to ask that question, Daddy. I can't hear.
So the question is, do the members of the Thieves Guild have
Information that can lead
or
us.
access to the information that you need to take your next steps. Go ahead and give me that D100 roll.
All right. This one's nope.
As you ask this question, the globe dims. Again, it's not that it's bright. It's so it got clear, so then it kind of clouds, and the light that hits it gets lost within. So it seems like it dims. And that answer does not come.
Yeah. All right. I suck at this magic thing. And he takes the little orb and goes,
Is gathering information from the Thieves Guild our best option?
I think so.
Your own personal doubt, Panabon, is not evidence of their unwillingness to work with us.
I mean, technically, we don't even have to talk to them right away. There is a matter of there are probably maps of the city at the library or in some sort of registrar that may actually exist. You may not actually need the Thieves Guild. Like, that may be good to have as like something in your back pocket.
I'm gonna ask the Thieves Guild. I'm gonna ask the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. It is a free. I assume Vaishon is a free country. I'm going to use an American colloquialism. It is a free country.
It is a free country. So we have reached the end of our time tonight. We are, when we pick up, we will see if we're going to ask the Thieves Guild. We will find out what happened to Perunia, or not. Well, we will find out what happened to Perunia, but we'll also know what Tiesque has been up to for the past several days, at least to the extent that a Fey sugar glider would understand the comings and goings of a dragonborn inquisitor.
And that'll be in 2 weeks, right? Because we're off next week.
Oh, yes, that will be in 2 weeks because we are indeed off next week for the Super Bowl.
You're just so excited, Danny. Can't you not contain it? That's what I got from that.
You know, there's a little teeny tiny bit of excitement I got for the Super Bowl when Kansas City went the first time a couple years back. And then when they won, I actually felt like just a little bit more excitement because one of the reasons I don't care about football is I spent a lot of time rooting for the Chiefs in the 90s. And they always had a really good team. They would just choke in the playoffs like every year. And so I just got over it after a while. And then I just didn't care about football anymore. I mean, I wasn't like a super fan even back then, but like
this very day.
You know.
I got the sense that Danny was highly inconvenienced that we couldn't play our game because of the game.
And well, because it's not exciting enough. Like I don't care about the Bengals or whoever the other team is that's going. Like I don't even know. Like I do register that the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Like and they were like the worst team in the 90s, so it's really funny because what I used to say is that the Chiefs were so good they would beat like great teams like the Cowboys and the Broncos and stuff, and then they would always like lose to a wild card like the Bengals. That's what I would always say in the 90s. So then this year they lost to the Bengals. I can't say how good the Bengals are.
Manic Monday.
But, What else do we have, Danny? What else is on the channel this week?
Well, other things are happening this week, so you don't have to wait until Sunday to get your Rem Alternus RPG fix. There is Monday night we have Paranormal Albany, which is always a fun time. We have Shadowrun 5e on Tuesday night. Thursday night we are what's this week? Thursday night is this week. Thursday night are we doing?
I think this week February is a little weird. It's off and on, but I think this week is Stormlord's Wrath.
Okay.
But next week would then
not...
be it's either Stormlord's Wrath or it's Shadowrun 6. Shadowrun right. Denver. So.
Right, and then Friday night are we doing a REM talks? Are we doing a game night?
Friday night is a REM chat about character creation, specifically birthdays, marriages, and holidays, I think. And I'm trying to weasel my way onto that panel as a playwright, so we'll see if I actually get it to the table for that or not. but they've got a really great group regardless of my presence or not. So if you're into character creation, that's RemChat for this upcoming Friday.
Sounds great. Saturday morning, we will have Descent into Avernus, and then Sunday is the Super Bowl. Go Bengals, at least. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll also have a announcement to make at that time, everybody. So do join us, and we will talk about the future of Like Clockwork, as things like Roland having to go to Hawaii, and what's checking in to see what's going on with Leah in terms of the construction around her place, and how to move forward in light of all of that and other events. So do join us. It will be exciting, and it will be good.
And don't forget to click right now on this link and hit notify me on launch for the pre-launch page of the Kickstarter for the comic book.
Do it. All right. And so with that, we will see everybody in 2 weeks, like clockwork.
Bye.